everyone, Dave Ringo here, ready to talk with you about the Ghost Monument. Yeah, so what things did we learn from this particular story? Well, the first thing that I want to address is when and where does this story take place? Well, the where part's a little bit easier. We know it's the planet Desolation. Where is the planet Desolation? Well, we're not exactly sure, but the doctor says it's light years from home, but that could mean anything. The people there refer to the 12 galaxies. Whether the Milky Way galaxy is one of those 12, we don't know. They look human, but they don't know what human beings are. That's interesting. How can they be human and not know what humans are? Maybe the name has gone out of parlance if this is in the future. Well, so let's address the question of when. When is this? Now, a case could be made that we're talking about contemporary times because, the doctor was tracking the TARDIS from Earth with very rudimentary equipment. Can she track the TARDIS through time or only through space at that point? So you might say, well, maybe it was just space. The TARDIS dropped her off in contemporary times, so maybe just stayed in contemporary times and just went far away. Adding weight to that argument, of course, is that the stenza are mentioned, and they obviously exist in contemporary times. Give or take a few years, this is probably the period of their primary activity, isn't it? Maybe, but then there are reasons to doubt that this is set in the same time as present-day Earth because, and this is the main reason here, of the TARDIS. The TARDIS is said to be the Ghost Monument, right? And the Ghost Monument appears every 1,000 rotations of the planet. The doctor says that the TARDIS is appearing in and out because what does she say? Because it's phasing in and out of time and space. And the engines are caught in a loop, she says. But here's the important point. The master of the race, the rally, he says that the ancient settlers of the planet Desolation referred to the Ghost Monument. And the fact that they know that it appears every 1,000 rotations, every 1,000 days that would be of the planet, means it's been around a long time. So the TARDIS must have gone way back to the beginning of, this, at least when the settlers first got to this planet, before even they had built all these buildings and everything. Now, if that was in contemporary times, that means this would be way in the future. Or if the TARDIS had gone into the past, I suppose this could be contemporary. But the fact is, the TARDIS did travel through time, no doubt about it. And usually when we see humans in outer space, and they look just like Earth people, even if they speak different languages and are from different planets, and even if they, don't recognize what human beings are, then they're probably descendants of Earth colonists. That's the most likely explanation. Because, according to Doctor Who, human life evolved on Earth. It wasn't colonized from anywhere else. So when you see other people that looks just like us, they probably are descendants. So this probably takes place in the future, and in the far future, far enough that they don't know what human beings or Earth is anymore, which would be quite a ways. Now, yes, this means the stenza have been around a very long time, but hey, so have humans. An interesting comment the doctor makes is that she says, just a throwaway line for laughs, that she was a hologram for 3 weeks one time. That doesn't refer to any known adventure, at least that I know. I'm more familiar with the TV show than I am with books or the Big Finish audios, but I don't know of any where the doctor's a hologram. If you know of a story where the doctor was a hologram for 3 weeks, please tell me in the comments section of the video. But I'm thinking that this is an untelevised, unrecorded adventure that the doctor's referring to. But it's an interesting piece of information about the doctor's backstory. Another interesting thing that happens is that the doctor, this hasn't happened since the period of the third doctor, the doctor uses Venusian Aikido. Yeah. And although that in itself isn't any new information, we already knew that the doctor knows Venusian Aikido, we do learn that what level, what rank, what belt, I guess you could say, the doctor has in it. She says, Grand Master Pacifist. Yeah. So that's apparently, I don't know if that's it sounds like one of the best ones. You have to wonder though, uh, do the Venusians have human bodies? Because Venusian Aikido sure works well on humans. The doctor makes an interesting comment about guns. She says, guns, never use them. She doesn't like guns. But why doesn't she like guns? You might think, well, because of the killing. But it can't be because of that, because she says not to use them against robots. It can't be about the killing. It's got to be about something else. She puts out an electromagnetic pulse to knock out the robots anyway. So what's with the guns? So we learned that the Stenza are around again. So I'm glad I had mentioned them in the last video for the woman who fell to Earth, because they're mentioned again. And we're told that the scientists of the planet Desolation were forced by the Stenza to make these weapons, which would ultimately result in the demise of the planet. So I have a feeling that the Stenza are going to come back again. Maybe for the series finale. I don't know. And I would guess that if they do, it's going to be in force. And then probably the most interesting part of the entire story was in the scene where the weaponized streamers, or whatever you want to call them, were attacking the doctor. Well, they're hovering around the doctor, surrounding her and her friends. And they seem to be able to read minds because they're reading the doctor's mind. I don't know how the scientists would have figured out how to make, cloths that could do that, but they can. And they say this to the doctor: afraid of your own newness. See, they're reading her mind. She's just regenerated. We see deeper, though, further back. The timeless child. She doesn't know we see what's hidden, even from yourself. The outcast, abandoned, and unknown. That's interesting. Now, there are some theories going around about what that exactly means, but I'm going to tell you what I think it means, because I think it's fairly clear what they're talking about. First, they mention what the doctor's feeling, and then they say, but we're going to go further back in time, in the doctor's past. So they're talking about the doctor's past, and then they say, the timeless child. I don't think that's referring to anyone other than the doctor herself. The timeless child. Now, we saw the doctor as a little kid in the Moffat era. Remember there's reference to it in Day of the Doctor and also in Listen. The doctor being a boy in an orphanage of some kind on Gallifrey, right? The timeless child. She doesn't know. In other words, now she doesn't remember her being the timeless child. We see what's hidden. See, we know. I guess they're seeing it in the recesses of her mind, and she isn't able to access that herself. We see what's hidden even from yourself. The outcast, abandoned, and unknown. You know what I think that means? I think that means that when the doctor was a child, she or he, I guess she would be a boy at that time, was found abandoned, unknown, timeless, out of time. They don't know where this child came from, and that's how the doctor ended up in the orphanage. In other words, what Chris Chibnall's trying to do is add a little mystery here to the doctor's origins. Maybe the doctor was not originally from Gallifrey. Maybe the doctor was found on Gallifrey, abandoned, became an outcast, but was timeless. This child, they don't know where this child came from. You see how we're adding mysteries to the doctor's origins? This could be very interesting, and it sounds like, well, either Chibnall is doing this to, like Andrew Cartmel did in the McCoy era, just to add some more mystery to the doctor's origins, but not really going to answer anything about it, or this is leading up to something, perhaps in the finale where something more will be learnt. But I'm willing to bet that we're going to find out that the doctor was not born on Gallifrey. That's my theory anyway. We'll see how it plays out. Anyway, I hope you like this section of Scoops and Revelations, what we learned from the Ghost Monument. And I'll be doing another one for next week's episode, Rosa. So if you'd like to hear that one, just hit the subscribe button. Thanks, and I'll see you then.